I literally need some water right now because this is going to be a messy video. Hey guys, so you guys asked for it. Here I am making a video on it. Today we are going to be talking about the time that me, lost my virginity. If you guys have seen my 50 facts about me video, you guys would know that there was a rumor spread about me in high school that I lost my virginity to the rival football captain of our high school. I'll leave a link down in the description so you guys can check that video out in case you haven't. You should. Now, just to clear the air, no, I did not lose my virginity to the rival football captain of our high school. But, there's a but. I did lose my virginity to a football player. So here's the full story. And just to throw a little extra messiness in there, I'm transgender. So I don't get to lose my virginity vaginally. No. I get to lose it through anal sex. And lastly, I'm sharing this video with you guys because I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. Yes, the story is crazy and dramatic, but it's real, and I do want you guys to learn not to make the same mistakes I did. So anyways, let's get into it. Now let's flash it all the way back to my sophomore year of high school where I am 16 years old, still living full-time as a male, but am about 2 months into my transition medically, but I am not living full-time like looking like this at school while I still look a guy even though I have like little titties growing. But on the weekends I was presenting full-time like to my family as female just so that they can get used to it because I was going to eventually present myself like this 24/7. Now, you know, being a sophomore in high school, that's when relationships form, you know, more deeper, like girlfriend-boyfriend relationships. And I guess you could say teenagers just get exposed to sex. This was something I obviously ended up finding out because I do have girlfriends and they have boyfriends, so they would tell me like their experiences and like what it was like for them. You know, I got interested in it as well. At this time, I guess you could say I was looking for someone of the opposite sex that I can communicate with on a different level just because all of my friends were girls and I had no guy friends, so I was looking for something, I guess, that was more of a romantic kind of thing, I guess you could say, if you want to put a label on it. But since there was really no one for me to talk to in my area or at school, I decided to use an app. At this time, there was this app going around. It was semi-popular. It was called Hot or Not. And I like to call Hot or Not Tinder's more trashy, more messy, more thought sister. Perfect for me. Just because they're similar in the sense that you could swipe and like X people, but where there was a difference is you could definitely tell that there were more raunchy people on Hot or Not, and the people on Hot or Not, I guess, were looking more so for intimate relationships, like sex. Technically, the app is like a social networking or a social meetup kind of thing, like where you can meet new people, party, do whatever. Like that's what it's technically for. You know, people do use it for other things. So I learned. I do end up making an account just because I think it's a cool way where I can meet guys and talk to them, but I not have to deal with the whole telling them my situation. Like I could just put it in my profile and it be done. That's exactly what I do. And you know, once I fill out everything, I put I am transgender in my bio, put all my cute girl pictures from like the weekends when I'm dressing up and spicing up my life, and just start swiping and looking through guys. I end up like setting the location for the guys I'm looking for further out from where I live just because I don't want to deal with the drama of seeing any of the guys that are close to me. Fucking hate high school boys, I swear. After swiping through the guys for a couple of days, there ends up being this one guy that I do end up getting matched with, and we talk for a little bit. And he goes to a high school that is about 45 minutes to an hour drive away from mine, which is like perfect for me because like the likeliness of him knowing anyone I go to school with is like slim. The high school that he went to was known for being a pretty wealthy school, and he played football. So that was just adding up to me, and I was like thinking that I scored big. Like, what the fuck? Like, I scored good, hunty. Boy, was I wrong. When we were talking, it was very casual, like nothing sexual at all or hinting at anything sexual. It was just getting to know each other chat. He ends up adding me on Snapchat, and we continued talking on there for a couple of days. And then about a week and a half into us talking, the conversation suddenly switches and it turns into sexual talk. What I mean by that isn't that he was talking dirty, but it was that he asked me if I wanted to hook up. And being the virgin holy saint I was at the time, I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. Nope. Just because like I didn't want to lose my virginity to a stranger I met over like an app. And he definitely quit talking to me once I said that. I went through this phase where I was kind of emotional just because it was nice having someone to talk to that was of the opposite sex, but it was just nice having someone there like that. And I ended up doing what any dumb teenager running on emotions would do. I caved in. It ends up being like a Wednesday and I'm in my last class, and I remember sending him a Snapchat saying, okay, let's do it. Like, let's hook up. Like, let's do this. His ass ends up responding real quick once he sees my message asking me where, when, all the deets on when we're gonna do this. I'm like, okay, let's just do this today. And he's for sure down for that. I knew I'd lose my virginity in the middle of the week and decided it in my biology class. Love you, Miss Ingle. I definitely wasn't paying attention that day. Once my last class of the day was over, I raced home, got ready, showered, shaved, the whole 9 yards, just because, you know, I didn't shave for a couple of days, so like I had to be soft and smooth. I also ended up having to do my makeup and throw on my wig, which is like 10 pounds. I added like 5 bundles of hair into that thing. So I have to like bobby pin that to my freaking scalp so that it doesn't come off, you know, during the physical activities. He's also like messaging me like in the middle of me getting ready just because we're talking about where we're gonna do this, where he's gonna pick me up, because you know, I wasn't doing this in my house because my grandma was there and I was not gonna have her walk in with me bent over the bed looking like a fool or in a compromising position. I ended up deciding for him to pick me up at the Target parking lot because I did not want him to know where I live. And the Target parking lot was pretty close to where I live, so I could just walk there really quick. Like, I didn't know if he was gonna end up being a 50-year-old serial killer that likes to cut people's skins off and make a coat out of it. Like, I don't know. So I just played it safe and told him I would walk to the Target parking lot and we could move on from there. My happy ass ends up sneaking out through the back of the house, through the garage. Hey mom, if you're watching this, now you know where I snuck out when I wanted to go out and you wouldn't let me. I was a bad kid. I get to the parking lot and I'm waiting there with my 22-inch weave and looking like a hot mess just because I looked a little rough at the time in this portion of my transition. And he ends up arriving in like a Dodge Ram, I want to say. I'm not like specific on trucks. A couple minutes later and I end up hopping in. Once I hop in, and literally I had to hop into that truck because it was fucking high. He ends up telling me his name, and you know, I inspect him up and down, making sure that he matches the picture I saw on his profile. I look around the truck just in case there's any special exits I'm gonna have to make just in case he tries to kill me. And then once I'm buckled into the seat, we take off. We try to figure out where we're gonna do this when I'm in the truck and we're like making small talk just because, you know, we don't really have a set place on where we're gonna do this. All I know is that we're gonna end up doing this in his truck. We end up coming to the conclusion that the best spot to do this is the parking garage of my local mall. Just another tally to add to the trash meter of this video. And one thing I did notice when I did get into his truck and we were driving around for a little bit is that he had a boner the whole time. Literally, I don't know why he had a boner at the time because I looked rough in the face at the time. Like maybe it was my 22-inch weave at the time turning him on. Like, I don't know. Wasn't really a complete dick expert at the time. Once we do end up getting to the mall, we go to the second structure of like the parking garage just because it's not at the bottom where people will easily find us and it's not at the top where the sun is like blaring right down on the truck. So we're like, the second level is perfect. Little did we know that was a mistake. Once he ends up parking the truck, we make small casual talk again just because, you know, it's a little awkward for me. This is my virginity on the line here. So I just cut to the chase and I'm just like, how does this work? Like, how does this happen? Like, I've never done this before, so you're gonna have to lead the way on this, sir. We end up like moving to the back of the truck since it's more spacious back there, and you know, things start to happen. And one thing I did not know that you needed for anal sex was lube. And I tell you that I wanted to die and it feels like you have a chainsaw up your asshole, I am not lying. I am 100% telling the truth. It literally feels like your asshole has to fall out and all your intestines are gonna spill everywhere. But I stuck through it and just let it happen, even though I was crying. Even at one point, my wig like started coming back and I felt it, so I quickly like just pulled it to the front and tried adjusting like nothing was wrong, even though everything was wrong in that moment in time. So while we're in the middle of our business, there ends up being a knock on his motherfucking window. When I tell you we froze up and just like zoned in on each other like what the fuck is happening, that is literally what happened. We are two teenagers butt naked in a compromising position in the mall parking lot. How much more of an awkward position can you be in? He ends up like quickly throwing on some pants and like hopping out of the truck and like seeing who it was, and I'm here like trying to cover myself up so that no one sees anything because, you know, I'm a trans. I don't want them seeing any of my extra parts. The person that knocked on the window ends up being mall security, and let me tell you, she is not having it. I could hear her conversation with a guy inside of the truck while I was quickly trying to get dressed, and he was trying to feed her every excuse in the book saying, oh, we were just talking or we were just hanging out, and she was not having any of his shit. She was all, we both know what you're doing, like I'm gonna take down your plates and I'm going to give it to the police. So the guy is like freaking out. He ends up rushing back into the driver's side of the truck while I'm still in the back trying to get dressed, mind you, and starts the truck and ends up zooming out of there. I'm in the back like trying to find all my pieces of clothing, trying to get myself together, and he's just driving out of that parking lot like fast and furious. I end up hopping to the passenger seat of the truck, and we end up just talking. He's like, I'm gonna have to get out of here like really quick right after I drop you off. Like, we're gonna have to delete each other off of all of our social media. We can just act like this never happened, and we're just basically gonna lie. I'm sitting there posted up like, okay, like I'll block you right now. Snapchat blocked, Instagram blocked, like everything. I just blocked him off everything. And I completely like understood and like didn't care like once I blocked him off everything, just because like, how would you explain like in his position to his parents that he was caught in like that kind of situation? Like, I don't know how you would do that. That's why you don't do these stupid things. Once we get to the parking lot of like where I'm going to be dropped off at, he's like apologizing, saying like how he's sorry that this happened. I literally don't care. I just end up hopping out of the truck. Ends up taking off, and I end up having to walk my happy ass all the way home with a sore butthole in a state of shock, thinking, how did I get myself in this situation? Like, only this would happen to me. Once I get home, I walk straight through the front door, go to my room, sit in bed for a minute, Snapchat my friend saying, I just lost my virginity, ha 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 ha. But inside, I'm like freaking the fuck out. Like this is some virginity horror story now that I think about it. I'm trying to play it off so cool and so cavalier, but in reality, like, I'm freaking the fuck out. Basically, I just end up losing all contact with this guy. I don't know what's going on with his life until my senior year. But that's a whole nother story. I could definitely tell at this stage of my life, I was very insecure and was looking for validation from guys when I didn't need it, and I should have just found validation within myself. But like I said, I was craving that attention and affection from guys, so I did what I had to do to get it. I definitely shouldn't have, and I learned from my mistake. I really hope you guys did enjoy watching, and you can find links to all of my social media like Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat in the information bar down below, so don't forget to check those out. Especially Snapchat, because all the stuff that might possibly be a story time happens on Snapchat first. So until my next video, have a beautiful day full of rainbows and glitter. Bye. I need the holy water spread on me right now, like Father, Son, Holy Spirit. I'm going to church. I am a changed woman. I am born again.